Hi. Tuesday, April 15, 2014, the day of the blood moon, which also happens to occur on tax day. This is the video to give people generalized updates from the Kingdom of Divine, or what's been going on as of late and what to pretty well expect. Currently, there is moves being made against the scum in Israel, Palestine, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, France, the UK, US, and other nations. Basically, they will be free soon. Pushes against them in Turkey, Spain, a few other countries as well have already begun and are currently underway. In Israel, you can connect this little shooting that occurred in Kansas, Jewish Center, and some other spot, killing 3, as a threat that if Israel doesn't comply with the scum, it's going to get taken out. Which basically, and these were the same people that financed the Holocaust. Be advised on that. So we're splitting them up like that. And more moves will be made throughout the world, so continually expect them. More anti-scum crap being made everywhere. Benjamin Fulford, on his April 8, 2014 report, claimed something to the effect that the Vatican created Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, the third of the 3 thus far, and claims it was a creation. The Kingdom of Divine is to tell the 1.5 billion practicing Muslims of the world that no, your faith is not a creation of the Vatican. Your faith is a creation of the Kingdom of Divine, centered around your culture, and only their culture. Hence why, if you look at specific faiths, they're basically constructed around the cultures that they're most practiced in. Fort Hood was a threat to the United States Department of Defense that since they would not comply with the scum's request to go to war, oddly enough, the first mass shooting that occurs post the end of the U.S.-Russia war cancellation is Fort Hood. Anybody find that odd? I do. That's a threat to the United States Department of Defense. And the Kingdom of Divine stands with the United States Department of Defense here, always and forever on this front. We will not tolerate nations being bullied. We will not tolerate nations being attacked. Each will be met with the most extreme of force, however the kingdom sees fit. We've destroyed coffee cups in meetings. We've levitated cell phones. specifics of said meeting are classified. And MH370 was not terrorism, was not some random fucknut acting the fool. That was divine. Taker of the mind of the pilot and the co-pilot down the plane. They can't figure it out to this day. Over 30, about 40, nearly 30, what, 37 days out. They can't determine it. That was to end the conflict because both the United States, Russia, the European Union, the G8, and the UN Security Council were all, and the scum were all belligerent here. Nobody was listening to anybody. They were ready to go to war. And they were ready to thrust us on the inside. Thrust us right into it. That had to be stopped. We exercised the greatest power in existence. Plain and simple. Francis, the Pope, the Holy Father, is an official agent of the Kingdom of Divine. His recent announcement over the creation of a Vatican Sex Abuse Commission, whose construct will be that you report your things to the Commission first. They will advise you what to do next. Because priests have been known in the past to use connections with law enforcement and local police departments to get around, use that link to cover up and bury any investigations against them. This is so that you send copies, not the originals, copies to the Commission. They will see what you got there, and the decision will be made from there. What to do, how to proceed. It's being given broad sweeping authority, broad sweeping reach, unlike no other board in the world. Its sole target is to eradicate pedophile priests out of the Vatican, and we are in talks with other faiths to establish similar constructs in their respective faiths as well. Because Catholicism and Christianity is not the only one this affects. It's been seen in Judaism, it's been seen in Islam, it's been seen everywhere. And it's high time it ends. Plain and simple. If your child attends a school who is under the control of either the archdiocese, your local archdiocese, or your local faith, or a faith, or holy faith, under control of the archdiocese network, either if we're shooting for the end of this summer to produce the letter, but if we can't get the letter out by then, it will get out as soon as possible. The launch of the website, the reporting website. Put in your information and somebody will get back to you within 24 hours. This is the power. And not to take a swipe at Christianity, but the one fact Divine does not like about what it does is the host and the blood. that would imply that would be akin to cannibalism. You don't eat your host. If you're invited to a party, you don't decide to slice dude up and decide to chop his ass up and cook him and serve him as the main course. Now, are you? Why would you do that to Junior? Think about it. The way you accept him in is not through his body, not through his blood. It's through his spirit. Into your heart, into your all. That's how you take him in. You open yourself up to him. So that the power of the Holy Family, the power of the Kingdom of Divine is washing over you and bathes you in a power you have yet to experience. And once you get that on you, over you, divine power and spirituality, and connections with Gaia, some would say are better than sex. Oh yeah. It's like that. Okay? You know? Obama works for us. His recent meeting in Saudi Arabia was to make sure the Saudis was to coordinate him and the kingdom there so that they could create the united front to kill the petrodollar. The United States dollar nor a single currency will no longer be classified as the world reserve currency. Constructs that we can say right now, a world reserve dollar is coming, but it's more going to be like based on a basket of, say, 25 or 30 currencies whose implementation we are going to figure out. It's not going to be this marrow crap. It's not going to be anything pertaining to the scum, because you, the consumer, will not hold it, will not be able to use it, will not be able to possess it to buy anything. That's the key point. It's going to be used for exchange between governments exclusively. You will not touch it. Your currency that you're currently using most likely will remain. But the euro dollar is dead. Is deader than dead. Once the treasury notes go out of circulation, go out of print, anything left in circulation will be still classified as legal currency, so that it's not too much of a radical shift on the economy. You know what I'm saying? It'll still be, say that $100 or $500 in cash you have in your $500 worth of treasury notes you have in your wallet now, you'll still be able to spend that and exchange that for physical goods, because the legal promissory note would still have to be enforced, which by law is ordered from the Department of the Treasury to the Federal Reserve, and that is that money is to still be worth something. So it is exchangeable, but as you exchange your bills, as it gets deposited through corporations, the treasury notes will be phased out. The new 50 might still bear the word treasury note or Federal Reserve note, right? It might still bear the Federal Reserve note, but we're working on the 20, the 10, the 5, and the 1. or we might just allow this cycle to complete itself, and then upon the next complete redesign, implement the new currency, which will be 7 years from now on the new 100, which will be 6.5 years from now on the new 100. GMOs are out. They're done. At least 20, what do they say, 27 states, some shit like that, have legislation before its state houses and legislatures to be either labeling or an outright ban of GMOs, either of which is acceptable at this point. Because a recent study confirmed a link to leukemia, autism, and all this other crap. You ever wonder why all these diseases have been rising with steady increase over the last 50 years, with what is seeming to be no end? It is because of GMOs. And 50 years ago, pills worked better than they do now. As little as 40 years ago, pills worked better than they do now. They were still shit back then, but they worked far better. They at least did what they said they did on the box. So, also healthcare became an industry around 1960. It all became about bottom line over personal treatment. Like, it became cost prohibitive to do a procedure for somebody that would have gladly have been covered, say, not even 6 months prior. Putin right now has put an offer to the table. Me personally, I'm for, but as an officer for the kingdom, I have to stand on the fence to eliminate the scum. And Francis is also moving on the deletion of an entity called the Saturnalian Brotherhood from the ranks of the Vatican, which was recently witnessed by the firing of 4 or 5 people in the Vatican. The sole survivor is a complete Vatican diehard loyalist, through and through. Basically, somebody that we could actually put somewhat trust into, and know that we don't have to micromanage that situation. Also, speaking of the Vatican Bank, an American and a Dutch were recently caught trying to deposit $4.2 trillion worth of fake bonds into the bank, which they were rejected and subsequently arrested, and an investigation is going. Because it was a scum attempt to hide money. That's how they do it. That's how they get people into trouble. It's a part of how they enact leverage. They'll basically put some money into somebody's account, right? They would say it's for something. They would tell the entity that they're putting the money into, that it's for something else. Well, in reality, its long-term purpose is to enact leverage against said entity, which they've done countless and time again, which is why most of the world remains quiet when they make these big plays like this. And if they don't participate, people turn up dead. Cars get destroyed. Kids have accidents. Planes fall out of the sky. cars get pushed off the road. And not Edward Snowden. He is the fakest motherfucker out there. Do you honestly think a subcontractor working for Booz Allen, which is a subsidiary of Raytheon, yes, that Raytheon, right, would have access to this kind of pertinent information? And besides, 95% of what he's leaked, quote unquote leaked, is has been common knowledge in our world for what, the last decade plus, at least. So tell us something new. Not rehashments of previously known facts. Think about it. Actual threats: Michael Hastings. His Mercedes-Benz C300 ends up crashed into a frickin' pole. Unnamed emergency service personnel were ordered to shut up. That's what happens to actual threats. Another one, Aaron Swartz. Searching up about what? CIA? Brennan in the CIA? Found dead via a hangman's noose. In his apartment. Tell me, look at the seating, look at the rope length. Snowden's a fraud. Alex Jones is a fraud. David Icke is a fraud. Mark Dice, we're putting him into the fraud category as well, because of his campaign of fear and always calling people sheep. There are 3 phrases that we must delete as of right now: Illuminati, which is dictionary definition, the illuminated ones. People who can open their minds to different constructs and different aspects. That's all that is. The enlightened ones. Nothing special about it. Devon is also at this time making moves to capture diecast of every pertinent defense contractor in North America and the European Union to exercise control over it. We don't have it out here, but our latest acquisition is Airbus. Piper, Beechcraft, we got an Osprey, and within the last 2 hours on eBay, we now capture the pride of the United States Navy. The United States ship Dwight D. Eisenhower, CVN 69, with plans to go after and capture the USS George Washington, the USS Nimitz aircraft carriers, and we're looking at a plan to go after the USS Virginia nuclear class submarine. These people do not know what we're about to exercise. And we just took control of the second of the 3 drones we've had in our custody for a while. The RQ-1 surveillance predator. We just acquired the MQ-1 predator. attack with a pair of Hellfire missiles, which we do not have in front of us right now either. To our left, right here, is 5. Count them 5. Lockheed Martin FA-22 Raptor fighter jets. The baddest plane in the world. And it's under U.S. exclusive control. And don't expect there to be war, because the United States also happens to control the most expensive aircraft in the world, exclusively. The Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit, high range, high yield, long range stealth bomber, $2.1 billion. 21 made, 20 currently exist. The Raptors, there were 195, produced about 192, currently remaining. So, we also control every pertinent U.S. defense manufacturer at this time. Hence why there will be no war. General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Bell, Cessna, Sikorsky, Chancellor's French, whatever. North American, Consolidated, Curtis, Fairchild Republic, and many more to follow. On the European front, Panavia, Eurofighter, Airbus, BAE Systems, and Boeing of Europe, and Lockheed Martin Europe. Russia, Sukhoi and Mikoyan. See, Raptors up there, right up here. Okay, got ourselves a Eurofighter. Want to see the Raptors? Super Cruise, stealth, and it could 360-degree firing. And plus vectoring. People think it just hovers. It actually doesn't. It just goes by so slow and only can perform it so high up so that gives the illusion it's in place. But in reality, it's only floating back. Alright. We will continue to do our work. Help us when requested. It is your order, it is your mandate. And there is no coincidence that this occurred on the day of the blood red moon, that the day of the blood red moon occurred on tax day. To send the ultimate message to the IMF of what we can do. Now, people, we love you. Peace, love, light. The kingdom of divine is out.